are going to do the gradient mesh challenge. So let's see what we're going to do today. We are going to know that if there's red text, it means to stop. You need to take notes. If there's green text, you need to go and do exactly what I said. Alright, so here's what we're going to do overall. We're going to find a picture of a piece of something smooth that's going to be fairly easy to trace, but it's going to look cool on the wall because we're going to draw this and print it on photo paper, and we're going to mat it and put it up on the wall. So we want to have it be exciting. I don't everybody do the exact same thing because I don't want to have 100 pieces of fruit up on the wall, so everybody choose something interesting. I expect the drawings to be really good and not lumpy, so choose something simple but cool. So something you're going to be excited about. Okay, here's what we're going to master during this project. Here's some other things we're going to master. You can hit pause and read those. Alright, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the internet, find a picture, and then you're going to place it into your thing. So here's what we're going to do. So you're going to have a folder called Gradient Mesh. You're going to have a folder called Assets. The images, you're going to save a picture off the internet in here, and then the Illustrator file goes right there. It's called Gradient Mesh with your name on it would probably be better. Okay, then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go File, Place, and you're going to place that picture, and then you're going to lock the layer right here. So there's my layer of cherries. You're going to do something different, and you're going to lock it. Okay, so that you can't move it around. So now when I try to move it around, I can't move it around because that layer is locked. And then you're going to create a new layer on top of it, and you're going to call it tablet outline. Because what we're going to do is we're going to install the tablet, and we're going to draw with the tablet. So let's go back to our PowerPoint slideshow and see what is next. Alright, so make sure, by the way, it's 8.5 by 11, the size of the document. Oh, I should have showed you that. Alright, so when you go File, New, make sure that it's 8.5 by 11, because we're going to print this on photo paper, and that's the size of photo paper for the most part. So 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 8.5 if you want it to be landscape. Okay. See what else I forgot. Okay, so grab a tablet from wherever Mr. Miller keeps those. Mr. Miller, that's me. Grab a tablet, and we're going to set up the pressure sensitivity. Okay, so I've got my tablet installed, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this tool. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to trace the outside of the. Actually, it might be better to do the. Stem. Hold on. Alright, so we'll try it with the stem just to see how this goes. Okay, so I made my deal, and I'm gonna go to the brush tool, and then I'm gonna pick a brush and double click on it. So I go into brushes. If you can't see that, go window brush. Okay, so here's the deal. You set it up however thick you want it. I'm gonna say 7, and then the variation is 7, and then I'm gonna adjust it to pressure. You have to, by the way, you have to plug the bamboo tablet in, shut Illustrator down, and open it back up for this to work. Okay, and I'm going to click OK. Now watch what happens now when I I'm drawing with the tablet. You can't see me, but I'm drawing with the tablet. If I press light, it's a thin line. If I press thick or press hard, it's a thicker line. Okay, and by the way, you can do the same thing with a pen tool. Watch. If I click, no, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag. You can do this just using a mouse as well, doing this. Watch. You go up to here. No, it didn't show up. There it is. So I click off, click back on with this, and I can choose it. I can choose like a different thickness. I have to make it thicker. Okay, so you can do it here as well. Okay, but it works nice with the tablet because I can do it how I want. All right, so now here's what I'm going to do. I want to get this thing, and I want to get it this color. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my swatches. Go to swatches. Okay, and I'm going to make a new color group, and I'm going to call it stem, and I'm going to click OK. Okay, where'd it go? Okay, there's stem. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to, I'll just draw a box for now. Hang on. So I'm getting sidetracked, but we're going to get there. So I'm going to draw a box for now. I'm going to go to my sucker tool. This is actually called the eyedropper tool, and I'm going to select a green from there, and I'm going to drag that color into my swatches. Let's make this bigger so I can see it. Okay, so I'm going to go to the color. There it is. I'm going to drag it into my swatches. Will it let me? And then drag it in there. Okay, so now I can collect some different ones. So I'll get there's a light one. I'm going to get a dark one, and I'm going to also drag that one. that color into my swatches, into my color group called stem. Okay, and so I'm going to use this darker one as I draw. All right, so let's go back to the paintbrush tool, and I'm going to go really thick. I'm going to press, let's undo that, edit, undo, because I was actually using, for whatever reason, I was using my mouse instead of the tablet. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to press really firmly, and then I'm going to go, oh, I'm not very good at this, and then I'm going to go lighter down here. All right, so it takes a little practice, but you practice it. You can do whatever you want, and you can do the outline if you want of whatever you're doing. Okay, so practice with the Wacom tablet, get a little practice with it, and then you can do the rest with the mouse and pen tool if you would like. Okay, all right, so there's a little sample of what. Of course, that's really bad, but I don't have time to make it perfect. All right, let's keep going. All right, so we're doing the Wacom tablet. All right, so remember when you do stuff with a pen tool, more anchors equals lumpy, less anchors equals smooth. Draw with as few anchors as possible. Okay, create a color group with your name on it and put all the colors that you'll use on it. All right, we already did this. So that's going to be important. Oh, create your own gradient and name it. Okay, so basically I'm going to draw some stuff and then we're going to do this. Hold on. Okay, so you can see that I have drawn the outline of the cherries, and I've turned off the, so there's the cherries, the JPEG of the cherries, and look what else I've done. I've also made a color group for all the colors in the cherry, and I've added more to my stem one, so I have all the colors I need. Alright, so let's focus on the cherry here. We're going to do, actually let's focus on the stem. Hold on one second. Okay, so let's focus on the stem. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to click on the stem, okay, and we're going to do a simple gradient. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a box to see how we want to do this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the gradient tool. Okay, and then we're going to take colors from here and we're going to throw them in here to create a gradient, right? And we can adjust the degrees of the gradient as well. Okay, so you can see by using the colors from the stem, I create the gradient, and you can see what it looks like in the stem. So in part of your drawing, and so like if I want, let's say I wanted to add red to this, I could drag red into it. That looks awful, but you could do it. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to create a simple gradient, okay, and you're going to use it on part of your drawing. Okay, all right. Okay, now let's talk about the gradient mesh tool. So I'm going to click on this thing, and I'm going to go to the gradient mesh tool. Now this is a more complicated gradient. Okay, so I'm going to click on this thing. Is that locked? Let's make sure we're on our cherry. Here we go. We are, okay, so we're working on this layer. So I'm going to select this guy right here. I'm going to go to the gradient mesh tool, and then I'm going to click, and so I can click and I can add different gradient meshes, okay? And you can go to your direct selection tool and you can edit individual points and move them around if you want, okay? And then what you can do is you go to here and you drag in color where you want it. So we're going to do the darkest color all through here. Okay, and then let's keep going. Drag the dark color, keep going, and then we're going to drag a little bit of a lighter color over on this side. A little bit lighter. Okay, a little lighter all around. And you can see by doing this eventually you'll get something like that, and we can do color variations. Okay, so hang on real quick. Okay, so I'm not going to show you everything, but you can see that I added a bunch of mesh lines here, and you can see kind of how I did it, and this is the result that I ended up with, okay? So then you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to have a simple gradient, you're going to have a gradient mesh. Okay, let's see what's next on the list. Alright, so what does the eyedropper tool do, and then what is a simple gradient, and we already did this. Take a look at that and answer these questions.